Hey folks, it's Price is Wrong with Battle Vortex, and we have today we're doing a roundtable. We got basically it's a panel of players that we have here that join us on the roundtable show, and everybody pretty much gets to speak their mind. And we just try not to talk over each other, but it's not always possible, just because the internet being what it is. It's not exactly real time, a little bit of latency, and so sometimes we end up jumping on top of each other. But anyway, I guess the thing that I wanted to talk about today was game joy, and I know our Thursday show. I'm getting a little bit of feedback from somebody, but anyway, I think it's Battlestar actually. Got it. Anyway, the I guess the Thursday show. Me and Nash, we kind of put out there that we're looking for other people that are interested in being on Battle Vortex, just being arbiters. Most everybody in our group now has pretty much kind of fallen out of love with the game. We don't have the passion that we once did, and obviously we want the show to be as good as it possibly can be, and that basically requires passion, which is currently absent from most of us. Now, fortunately, we've got Vlad on here with us now. He's our newest arbiter, and he's with us here today. And so he's a regular player, and he's got passion for the community. He's got passion for these shows, and I guess still has some passion for the game. I don't know if it's once as much as it once was, but I know pretty much everybody out on here is got similar qualities as well. But anyway, I guess I just want to start getting into game joy. I know for me, it kind of went away. It's been kind of waning for quite a while, and it's just everything's gotten to be so expensive. Things take so long to get done anymore. As far as building ships, getting a fleet, upgrading your base. I can't defend my base anymore. That kind of thing. So anyway. Maybe we can just start going down the line and seeing what kind of joy issues you think there may be in the game today. Vlad, you're right next to me. I'm just going to start with you. I don't know if you've got anything to just say about basically what I'm trying to do is get some feedback that I can provide to Kixeye.
I still enjoy playing the game. The content faucet is getting a little tough to handle. It feels, and now they've added these Reaver holdouts, and that's just yet another chore that you're going to have to do to keep up. And it seems like playing the game has become a series of, well, I have to do this to keep up, I have to do this to keep up, I have to do this to keep up. I like hitting bases. Don't really have time to do that anymore. I get my alliance points for the week, and that's about the end of my base hitting. I like the challenge of figuring out a build to accomplish a task. The problem is now we have to figure it out, and you've mentioned this in the past. You're wedded to that build. You can't fix it. You better guess right the first time. We should be able to make mistakes without falling behind, and you can't. I find that in general I have to wait a month or so to see what some of the people who can afford to pay to fix their mistakes are doing, and then kind of take their lead. As an example, I dodged all the refits on the missiles. I'm like, I'm not touching these missiles till I see what's happening. Good thing, because every third day they came out with a new missile for the past 2 weeks. And that's going to stop if people are going to, if they're going to keep their player base, because you just can't keep up, and you can't afford to make a mistake. And we have somebody in our alliance who had some things going on at work and took 4 weeks off, and it's an entirely different game. He came back and he has no idea what's going
on. Okay, so I got you. So basically, there's just no tolerance for mistakes, and then also too much content. And I actually got kind of lucky there because I lost today with all the new missiles, is because I just finished my first Rhino hull, and I started putting those missiles on there, the Trident, And the next day, when we saw the new blade missile, I'm like, oh, cancel that. I just started another hole, and I'm like, I'll go ahead and win the blade, and then I'll start putting missiles on them again. But anyway, well, thanks for that. Toxic. So what's going on, man? How are you feeling about the state of the game today?
Well, I used to like, just like Flat, I used to like hitting bases, but I can't hit a decent base because I haven't got the equipment, nor have I got the money or the coins, the gold to repair the fleets to hit bases like that afterwards.
So just
And
recovering from the chores, just recovering from the chores to do things that enjoy. To do things that'll bring you joy is a challenge, right? Because you're stuck doing chores and recovering from chores.
Yeah, you can't keep up. If you don't, I mean, I coin a little bit, but if you don't coin at all, you can't do it. It's impossible unless all your fleets are always broken. And I mean, I can go out and hit a couple of 50s that, but they get hit all the time, and I don't really want them to think that, oh, we're only there to be hit, for alliance points, and then leave the game. So I just don't hit bases. I haven't hit a base, and I haven't had any alliance points apart from salvages for I don't know how long.
All right.
But all in all, okay. It's too much of a chore. And it's all I seem to be doing, Forsaken missions, and then you got the raiding fleets come out, and then you've got two-letter burns one after the other, and you've got the raid, and then straight after the raid you've got something else, and there is no time to take a breath,
Yep. Dirty Harry, what's going on, bud? How are you feeling about joy in the game these days? I mean, are you still having fun playing, or is there something that you'd like to see change that would help you have more fun?
Oh, absolutely. I had the advantage of watching your stream last night, so I had a little lead time on what the topic was going to be. So I sat back and I took about 10 seconds and made a list of the 7 things in the game that are killing the joy for myself and other players. And I'll just blitz through them because most of them have already been hit. But before I say them all, I want to throw out that these topics have been covered in just about every BV show, just about every Facebook page, and the wish list forum and the other KIXEYE forums for years. So nothing that I've heard so far is new. I'll be interested to see if we can come up with anything new. But getting onto my list, number 1, reduced introduction of content. That was already talked about. There's so much content coming in so fast, we can't keep up with winning it, much less building it. Number 2, reduce the forced playtime needed to keep up. With the introduction of the new Forsaken Mission elite tier and 75s and 85s, I'm a pretty heavy hitter, and it takes me 2 days to grind through it unless I want to coin it. And even if I wanted to coin it, I have to hit 17 85s to get through it twice, and that's 2 days worth of playtime. Number 3, reducing the build, research, and refit times across the board. That's already been touched on as well, already in the roundtable. It takes too long. We can't keep up with building fleets on a pace with the rate that content is being released. Number 4, reduce repair times across the board. Players who don't pay to play, they can't entertain themselves or participate in enough player interactivity, base hitting, I even had that listed out here, to keep their game activity or their joy high.
Can I just add to that one there real quick?
Sure.
That one right there, when you mentioned the non-coiners, I think does it seem to you that maybe KIXEYE forgot that they're actually content for the game as well, and that they're kind of they're not a challenge for anybody. I mean, KIXEYE seems like they want to make things a challenge, but if they were to invest in even the non-coiners, that would be content for the game. You know what I mean?
I think you hit the nail on the head with one exception, and that is keeping the perspective on what KIXEYE's focus is. KIXEYE is a company, and their focus is going to be whatever it takes to turn turn dollars in and out of their cash flow system. in and out of their business. Want me to go on, or?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay. And to throw onto that the reduced repair time, one thought that I had was reducing the time doesn't necessarily mean reducing the cost. So it would be to the benefit of the non-coiner to reduce repair time, but not necessarily have to reduce the amount of coin required to repair the fleet. In other words, half repair time, but not necessarily half repair cost. That's something I'm going to get yelled at, I'm sure. But from a business perspective, if they want to keep the coin coming in, but keep the non-coiners active, a good way to do that would be to reduce the repair time, but increase the cost per whatever time unit it is that we're basing it on. So in other words, a 24-hour fleet takes, 50 coin to repair? Cut that down to 48. So cut that down to a 12-hour repair time, but keep it at 48 coin. The game mechanics behind that, the programming mechanics behind that is probably pretty intense, so I don't want to get into how to fix the problems. I just want to get on with my list. So number 5 would be reducing the introduction of new features in exchange for fixing and enhancing or completing the partially implemented features. For example, the basic notification emails, one that is very near and dear to my heart. The medal system, what's it for? Do something with it. Everybody likes it, but it doesn't mean anything. Make it mean something to the game. It wasn't introduced just to be another leaderboard, I don't think. The third example that I had to throw out was the alliance features, both the search function and the ability to slot players so that all the different alliance bonuses can be achieved. That would really enhance the value of belonging to an alliance if you could get all of those benefits as opposed to just what I believe it's the gunner level, which is what most of our alliances are. That's all of us fit into that level. So bottom line is reducing the introduction of new features and fixing or building up the features that are already in the game. Number 6 is quality control. I'll take a pregnant pause there.
That quality is a big deal. Yeah, because I mean, and they're lacking in so many areas in quality.
Yeah, they really need to step up, increasing pre-release testing of all new content. I would suggest starting out with just doubling the efforts, doubling the staff dedicated to it, and incorporate players. Let players try to figure out how to break it. We're good at that. We've proven that over and over again. So set up a beta server. Pick a set of players or randomly generate a list, very much like the survey that gets sent out. Something like that. Get players to come in and break it for you so you can figure out how to fix it before you send it out to everybody, and then get a big backlash when you have to nerf it or you have to adjust it or you have to fix it after I've already spent 2,000 coins to build the thing. So, okay, off my high horse. Number 7, and my last point, increasing the frequency and quality and organization of the informational content. So a big shout out to the content managers, or the community managers, excuse me, Doom and Robot before him, for trying to keep an open line of communication. That is there. But the organization of the information makes it very difficult to keep track of. I don't have a solution for that problem, but a pretty detailed and vetted communication plan at the organizational level within Kixeye, how they're going to communicate with their player base. That should be very well defined, and every communication that goes out should be vetted by more than one person.
I gotta say something regarding the whole quality of content thing too. Doesn't it strike you odd? It seems like when we did get demo videos, the content that they would be putting out would work correctly on their preview servers, but they didn't work when they went out on the live server. So it makes me wonder what exactly is the difference between the two, and maybe they should actually try synchronizing their test platform with the live platform, the configuration, because there's definitely some oddities there, because it's just weird that it's pretty consistent that the content that they put out needs a touch-up once it gets here.
Well, not to get into the technical details because I don't know what their process is, but being involved in software development projects a lot throughout my life, I can say that there's a standard dev test prod environment that's usually set up. So you have a development environment, which is basically a sandbox. Then you have your test environment, which is a mirror of your live environment. And it appears to me that their test environment and their production environment, which is what we all play in, are not the same. And that is exactly what you just brought up. And
yeah,
that's just an internal thing that they would have to work through their software development process, make sure that it's efficient.
was that all of your bullet points?
Was that enough?
Oh yeah, it was good. I mean, if it's enough for me, I just want to make sure we got through your 7 things that you wrote down.
Yes, that was all 7.
All right, awesome.
Yes.
Oh, Phantom Menace. Do you have anything to add? I mean, are you still having fun playing the game? What parts bring you joy, or is there something you think that is hindering your joy?
Well, basically, I think Harry's covered it all with his 7 bullet points. The only one I would really go into is the cost. Now, we understand that Kickstarter a company, but the cost of everything is so high. If they were to realise that bringing down the cost across the board will get more people spending a little coin instead of the big coiners spending what they do, they would make exactly the same amount of money, if not more. Because more people will be spending what they can afford rather than not spending what they can't afford and thinking, oh well, it's a coiners game. The only bit I enjoy about the game now is the interaction with other players and talking on comms. That's all I enjoy now. The actual playability of it, I haven't heard base in weeks.
Okay. Hey, Joel, same question for you, bud.
There is nothing I enjoy in the game anymore. It is just basically a big chore. The cost is out of this world right now. The amount of repairs you can get for one target in the raid, the difficulty, and the amount of points required for something for a weekly to help players catch up to the big guys. It's not even there anymore. And Dirty Harry just basically summed it all up right there with his 7 bullet points.
Yeah. Okay. I know I'm going to mess your name up. It's Ilana. Ilana, right? She's still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. Did you same question for you. What do you do in the? Are you still able to have any kind of joy in the game? If so, what parts? And is there anything that you feel like is hindering your joy in the game at all these days?
I still enjoy playing the game. Hold on, background noise.
Yeah, which parts?
One thing that probably makes me the most upset in this game right now would be the weeklies. Either without doing some massive coining, I can't seem to do it 2 times around, especially within the time, constraints of it. I work full time. I only have a couple of hours during that period to be able to do it, and I just can't do it. So that's part's probably the most aggravating for me. But I still enjoy playing the game.
Can I ask a question about that topic?
Sure.
So let's assume that they introduced a 95 stronghold that was, twice as big and twice as damaging and twice as difficult as an 85, but it was worth 12 million points. Would you elect to take on a tougher target so to save yourself time, even though it's still going to cost you some coin? Is your time worth paying a little bit more coin to get through it faster?
I think that would depend on exactly how much damage my fleet would take to get that 12 million points. If it only damages my fleet, say, 3 coins to do an 85, but it's going to damage it 9 coins to do that 95, I'm going to stick with the 3 coin repairs per 85. That's how I break down if I'm going to coin or not. I mean, I'm a medium coiner. I coin about 50 to 100 a month. But it's getting to that point now where that 50 to 100 a month is going to work more for the weeklies and speeding up builds, and I don't have anything left over for the raid.
Okay.
So it if they were to do that, I would have to see what the points per coin is.
I mean, just because we're on the topic of the Forsaken mission right now, I mean, me personally, I actually did enjoy the Forsaken mission more. I mean, I know we kind of called it a chores because it was something that we had to do to get tech, but before, it was kind of nice being able to do it in an hour for free instead of it occupying your whole weekend and it feeling almost mandatory. If you want to, yeah, and it's not even really to compete with other players now. Now it's just to compete with the NPCs, the AI of the game. This is mandatory tech. You kind of have to have it, So it just seems like you're kind of forced into sacrificing a whole weekend now. It's kind of nuts. I mean, to me, that's not joy. That kills my joy. It really does. I mean, are you? It's about what you're saying, isn't it, Alana?
Yeah. Yeah. My thing too also with that is my weekends are set aside so I can try to do the weekly and maybe try to get it done twice. But then I have outside campaigns I need to do as well. I need to try to either, get my tokens, I need to get my uranium, I need to get it all seems to be just jumbled up into a 3-day coin fest for me. And that kind of sucks, but I still do enjoy playing the game.
Okay, excellent. So, hey, Damnation, how's it going, buddy? What in the world? You sound like you swallowed helium.
What the heck?
Jesus.
That's some technical problems right there, buddy. You want to try again? You want me to move on? All right, Damnation will come back to you. Battlestar. Same kind of question. Are you able to have fun in the game these days? Is there things that you really enjoy about the game today, and are there things that has taken away joy that you'd like to see rolled back?
Well, the only thing I like is the friends you end up making. As far as the game itself, it's too much content, too soon. We're not ready for it. And the build times and the repair, well, it's just crazy. I actually think they ought to give us free gold each month.
Yeah, I think well, I know with the tokens, it's not exactly free, but they do seem like they're coming out with more ways to distribute tokens. I don't know what happened with the token campaign this month. For some reason, they turned it into a uranium campaign, and I don't know what's up with that. But
well, they've actually given us gold a few times for free. They might as well do it a little bit more often.
Yeah, last time I think that I've seen them give away gold in mass was for free was I wasn't it like Christmas, and not this past one either, but the one before that, if I'm not mistaken.
And I think they ought to give us more gold for our dollar too.
More gold for the dollar, gotcha. Okay, I guess White Star. Same question for you.
Again, I think Harry's covered most of it, but I'll try and go a bit deeper. Yeah, missions. We'll start with missions. Why can't they, when they bring them out on a Wednesday, have the timer go around till Tuesday, so you've got a good 6 days of doing it? Because we all know that the missions clear on a Tuesday and then come back on a Wednesday evening. So why not do it that way? That covers that little problem. Also, the FAT. I think this FAT is actually disgraceful by having just the fleet for the top three, well, the main prize for the top three players. I think that's just a coin fest. That needs to go back to uranium payouts for repairs. Definitely. Bases, I haven't hit a base in a couple of months now. I just don't have the time anymore. I used to love hitting bases. I used to like going in bases with my subs, looking, see how if I can prep and make it cheaper for me. Can't do it anymore. Don't have the time.
Okay, that was an interesting. I guess with the Forsaken mission, you're talking about making it available for the whole 6 days and not just
Yeah.
72 hours worth.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That can't be hard. That's just a time issue.
Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to write as much stuff down as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can when they can do it when they screw up on a certain thing. They can make it available for 6 days, but what can't they do all the time?
Yeah. Well, I understand. I know last week a lot of us they were supposed to add 4 hours, so everybody instead of 72 hours is supposed to have 76. And I know from talking to Vlad the other day, he didn't get that extra 4 hours, and he ended up being short. But at least customer service did. CS, they did, or customer support, whatever you want to call them, did try to make it right with him. But so anyway, I guess so. We did talk about quality of content. Okay, about it really needs to be. They need to elevate the testing. It needs to be more of a priority, and they need to have things ironed out before the last couple hours. I know. So they need to pay more attention to quality. I mean, it just seems like a lot of things are. It just seems like they're really lackadaisical with a lot of things. Even the information that comes out, it's like it almost feels like the information that we get, and it just changes like constantly. Which I guess is okay. If there's like good reasons for it, but sometimes things are just wrong. And, I've actually had people suggest that blamed us for the quality of information, and you know what I mean. The BV show, even though we're reporting just what we're told. So I'm just saying it's kind of reflecting on us now. You know what I mean. So it's not just a to me personally, that's a problem. You know what I mean? But that's only because I'm, obviously representing Battle Vortex here, and we need to have good info. The communication doesn't really feel to me the communication between the community and Kixeye. It doesn't seem like it's all there. Because it doesn't seem like they actually hear anybody. Unless it's good feedback, they don't hear it. If it's negative feedback, they don't hear it.
No.
It's like they've got a plan and they're just looking for, I guess the fact that they get any, even if it's just a 1/10 of 1%, if it's positive, that's all they listen to.
Can I also bring up this as well? Hackers, cheats. Why are Kixeye so afraid to talk about it? And why have that fair play team has gone down the road? When you try and report a player, they don't even talk back to you. So you are thinking, well, why aren't they banned? Please tell me why. They seem to be, to me, in my eyes, they seem to be cheating, but you're not banning them, or you don't want to talk about it. Where's the problem?
Yeah.
That needs to be sorted out. What else I'm going to think of? It's gone now, so carry on. Sorry.
Well, I think the biggest problem with cheaters these days too, and I hear this all the time, that if you can, if you can get all the repairs for $25 a month, versus how we're currently playing, it just seems to me that the cost of the game is, if it were more reasonable, I think that would address a lot of the problems we have with cheaters. I mean, do y'all agree with that, or?
Quite agree with that.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not going to end it. It's not going to end it. There's still going to be people out there cheating because there's still kids out there that just pretty much don't respect much. You know what I mean? Not all the parents teach that. But
another key point to bring up about cheating is the biggest problem that other players have with cheaters is the fact that they're damaging your base, they're costing you money, and it's not costing them money. One interesting thing that's going on in the game is, as we've all said, none of us are hitting bases like we used to, or like we want to maybe, but so it sounds like maybe some of the cheaters aren't doing that as much either, because they're too busy with the chores. So that's an interesting twist that I thought of the other day. I haven't heard as much screaming about so and so's a hacker or a cheater or whatever, and I think that may be because the amount of base hitting has gone down significantly from what I've seen. Sorry, thanks.
Am I working now?
you are, man.
Yay!
That's better.
I put the helium balloon down.
Thank you. Well, go ahead and say what you wanted to say.
Like I still play. You know, I still do the Forsaken mission twice every week. That's really about the only thing I get the joy out of doing. I like doing it and seeing, you know, how much lower I can get my repair times and how much faster I can get it done week by week. Content overload is just stupid. I mean, that's way too much stuff. You know, there's like thing after thing after thing after thing. And when you have your first cycle of raid, like you go through quite a few fleets and you're not trying to figure out what works. You're lucky if by the time the next raid comes around, you've gotten all of your stuff repaired, because you know you got to repair from your Forsaken missions all the time. You got to repair from the minis all the time. You got to repair from all your other tours all the time. And as far as, you know, Kicks being a business and needing to make money, I totally get that. But most people with like 12 million ID or higher weren't around back in like what I consider the heyday of Battle Pirates, when things were a lot cheaper and they were making a lot more money, and you never saw anything about layoffs. People were getting hired, not getting laid off. So it seems to me that making everything cheaper made them a lot more money. And they're trying to be, I've said it before, they're trying to be Apple in a Walmart world.
Okay. All right.
Can I add something there, please?
Yes.
Now, I started playing the first raid after Base Invaders. I don't know how many years ago that is now, but that's when I started playing. We had, it was before alliances, but we had an alliance with a few players that had their alliance name typed behind their real name or their game name. And when raids came along, we all used to be involved and help each other. All the bigger levels used to help the little levels. And the way I can see it is that Kixeye has started, or they've stopped doing that now. And everybody has to do their own thing. It's like almost they don't want you to talk to anybody else. They just want you to click a button and you do your little thing, and your neighbor's base does their little thing. Now, it was a lot more enjoyable, the game, when you had 3 or 4 players helping you do your raid, giving you a bit of a hand, getting you better equipment, better hulls, better specials, whatnot. And that seems to be gone out the window now. That no one can help anyone, and it's just you do what you do, and then what your neighbor does, well, bad luck. And that doesn't help the whole health and fun of the game. It's meant to be like an alliance, meant to be able there to help you, not to just watch you and you know, nothing they can do about it. I don't know what you guys think about that, but that's you know. That's one of the points that I would.
I think Kixeye really did shoot themselves in the foot income-wise in the past couple of events. Not only turning off the co-op, right, because there's a lot of people who love spending coin just to help their teammates. So you definitely, I think you're definitely right there. Also, the leaderboards being broke. You know, that's a list that is really important to some people. You know, if they can be like #1 and take a snapshot of that, even if it's the only time they ever do it. I've actually got one where I was #1 in the sector. I'm still holding on to it. That was the Sea Scorpion raid, though. That's way, way, way back when. But anyway, so I think, you know, there's definitely things that Kixeye could do to improve their income, their bottom line. And I think a lot of the things that they think they're doing that's supposed to help with all of these like limited blueprints, for example. I mean, to me, I think these limited blueprints suck. I mean, it seems to me that they've kind of paving that as the way to the future. And you know, if you can only build one component per blueprint for a ship, and you have to have 20 copies of a blueprint, that's freaking nuts. I think that's insane. You know, especially you know when you know you can only, I don't know. I know there's people out there that can kill those Reaper holdouts for free. I know there's people out there that can do that, but for the most part, we can't do that.
Well, we talk about making the game accessible for more players and for players who aren't necessarily whales. These limited blueprints do nothing more than reward people who fail to value a dollar. The guys that don't care how much it costs, they're just happy to get, if they need 20 blueprints, they'll go out and ring them up till they get their 20 blueprints. Well, they don't care. But, somebody who who does a cost-benefit analysis, is it worth the damages you're taking, and who values the money they put into the game, isn't going to do that. And it's another step to separate fools from their money and intelligent people from being able to play.
Vlad, I resemble that remark.
Well, here we have a whale with us, and I don't know what you do, Harry. I assume that you have a comfortable level of income and you can afford to spend on this game whatever you want. Most of us aren't in those shoes. And that's a fact.
Right.
Well,
I think that's one big problem between coiners and between like mega whales and what I call regular coiners anyway, is they don't understand that not everybody can do that. They say, well, build this fleet, and, it's going to cost 4,000 coins, but you'll be able to do this, this, and this, and they kind of don't seem to get that 4,000 coins is like totally unthinkable for most people.
Yeah.
Comes down to one word.
Well, not all of us play with Kicks money. They've got their 50,000 coins that they play with on their little servers and whatnot. And normal people don't have that. We can't, build fleet after fleet to see if it works, and then if it doesn't work, well, at least we know it didn't work. Most of us just can't do that, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I think I got a fairly good list here of things. I think that'll give me I'm basically just trying to write down like bullet points and kind of organize things and then present ideas where I can on how to fix things. But I was like I said, I was approached. Me and Nash were both approached, and so we haven't had the opportunity to present the feedback yet, but so that's why I wanted to do that during the show, was so that we could get something from the community. We didn't want to just do it for ourselves, but for everybody. And so anyway, excellent. Is there anything else that some folks wanted to talk about? I know we still have like the Caustic Warfare campaign still going. We do have the time-limited campaign for Dredge's Uranium campaign going on again. What else is going on right now?
Fat.
Oh yeah, the Forsaken Arena tournament.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, what's that? I've given up on it. I think it's disgusting what they're doing there, but that's another story.
Can I just go back? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Can I just go back to the weekly missions?
Sure.
Now, a little while ago, they put in that salvages would blow up an hour after they've been opened. I've been finding it increasingly difficult to find a 85 hub that hasn't been half destroyed by someone. They just go in, rim it, or whatever. Can they not find a way of maybe after a certain amount of time, I don't know, 2-3 hours, the 85, once it's been started, will blow up and reset?
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else finds a problem with that.
Yeah, me personally, if I see them, and you're right, I do see a lot of them that are somebody's already started, but I figure I get points for anything that I take out. You know what I mean? Now I don't like it when there's the only things that are left are the 2 torp towers at either end of the 85s. But I use a gunboat, right? Gunboat and they're gone.
The 2 torp towers only worth 6,100 points apiece.
Yeah.
And
they do a significant amount of damage.
I would say, if you don't use a decoy, they deal a ton of damage. Those torpedoes are nasty.
Can I bring something else up about the missions as well? What a lot of people are talking about on Kickside forum as well. It's about the distribution of the levels of the hubs. Like, because a lot of people are levels. There's loads of level 80s around. Plus, you've seen a lot of 85 hubs and 75 hubs. Now there seems to be scarce amount of 65s, 40s. Why can't Kixeye bring out more of those onto the world map?
Come to our sector, we can get enough 85s. No problem finding little ones.
I mean, why can't you? I mean, the missions are there. The Forsaken mission is there only for you, so only you can do it, right?
Yep.
Now, why can't you have that in the campaign column on the left? Have it in there, and then you've got three choices. Or whatever many choices there is. You can hit a 40, or you can hit a 65, or you can hit an 85 or a 75. You click on that, and then you go into that hub and do it like that.
That's a good
awesome.
idea.
Yeah. That would make entirely too much sense.
We'll do this as a camp.
It's not It's not cryptic enough.
No.
This way, everybody could hit the level
That's
that
right.
they can can compete with and without dying. I mean, fair enough. You'd have to sort of put a bracket in that someone who's level 90 can't hit 32 bases on auto all night. So but I'm sure something like that can be done. They've done it with campaigns, so why can't they do it with a Forsaken mission?
Yeah.
Yeah, great idea.
Shall we talk about the activity in the game?
Sure.
Alright, so the activity in the game has really gone down since the last two events. How much would you say has many people quit or not even logged in for close to a week at a time before logging back in?
Well, I wouldn't even try to guess that personally myself, but I will say I know I've seen a lot of people quit with the Scourge. I know from talking with Doomrooster, he seemed to feel that the issue was that people in the community just didn't like change, and I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I think that the issue with the Scourge was the fact that, okay, they're subs, so automatically they're going to be immune to most surface weapons, right? At least while they're submerged. And but the fact that their evade is so ridiculously high and their defenses are so high, and then they get extra defense bonuses while they're submerged. Even with subs, I know me personally, I know when I went into the Scourge the first time, even though we knew that they were coming, I had no reason to believe that my subs would not do really good because I'm a good sub driver. And I had no reason to believe that my subs wouldn't be adequate, but then they came out, and when I saw that how many, I could fire thousands of siege torpedoes at them and basically just tickle them, that was a big that was shock. I was in shock, man. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, really? And to find out that the main fleet that people were using they were having success with was the V2Hs, which is one that I never built. You kind of got to pick and choose what tech you invest in because you don't have time to build everything, which is another issue that has to do with the build times that was mentioned on here earlier. You shouldn't be married to your builds. You should be able to build a fleet, in my opinion. And you should be able to build a fleet in a month, maybe 3 weeks, and then if you got to do any kind of tweaks, do that in another week, and make modifications. If modification to a fleet shouldn't take a whole month by themselves, and it shouldn't take 3 months to build a fleet.
Well, it would be okay. Those time limits and the times that you're talking about would be okay if the content of the game
matched,
and the targets in the game matched that kind of a time frame.
Yeah, like we didn't get if we weren't getting in a 3-month time span, how many new hulls were introduced in the game? That's about how long it takes to build a fleet right now. It's probably about 3 months, right? 2 or 3 months.
Yep.
And how many in the last 3 months, how many hulls has probably come out? I mean, I'm guessing we're definitely double digits.
Easy.
I think there's at least 13.
Yeah.
Well, I think it all comes back to too much content. I think a lot of people would be okay with long build times, long repair times if they weren't outdated within like 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, if you're not a whale and you don't coin it up right away and coin up the rank right away, by the time the fleet is done, it's obsolete.
You know, I've
Well,
actually
as-
seen
as you
bases. I've actually seen bases already that have the OP7, the OP12. I'm sorry, the Doc 12. All of their turrets were level 6 already, and they had the ballista already built.
Really?
Legendary Guard.
Wow.
I've seen it, man. I
They'll
couldn't
be
believe it.
banned next week.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, but I wouldn't. You know, I'm not. I hate to be the type of person that just automatically assumes that person's hacking. You know what I mean? I hate to be that person, so I always resist that compulsion.
Are you sure it wasn't Harry's base there, Price?
No,
I
it
knew
wasn't
you were
his
going
base.
there.
No,
I knew
he-
somebody
he-
was going to go there.
Yeah,
I had to say it. I'm sorry.
No,
Here's somebody one.
just to clarify, I have OP7, Doc 12. I've upgraded. I did coin 2 turrets so that I had coined the ballista onto it, just to see how it would do, just because. But over the rest of the stuff, warehouses and the rest of the standard turrets, I haven't started on most of that yet. So get off my back.
No.
And watch it. The ballista's gonna be broken.
Yeah.
To make comment on that, on what you just said, Price, that Doom thinks that people have left because they didn't like change. I mean, come on, that shows you how much out of sync they are with the real world. It's not the change that made me not coin. It's the fact that one of their missiles hits my ship, and that ship's gone. It dies. And I can hit their ships with the same or with longer range weapons than what they should be, and I can't scratch them. That's what makes people not play the game, not the change. The change is good.
Yeah.
It's something new. I was excited for that raid.
I was too.
Well, if the data mining is to be believed, each one of those ships has got 10 times the armor of your entire fleet. It wasn't that we weren't scratching them. It's just we weren't scratching them compared to the amount of damage they could take.
I mean, you can make the raid hard, but give our ships and their ships, if they've got the same weapons, the same range and the same damage. You know, it's no good them having. They can shoot torpedoes right across the screen, and before you can't even get in range, and they're out of touch. Even Doom is out of touch if he says something like that. I'm sorry to say it, but
well, the thing you have to remember when you're talking about kick ships being stronger or having more range or being faster is that they're on an artificial intelligence loop. They are pre-programmed to act a certain way. As people or humans, we can adjust our tactics to accommodate for that or find ways around. And
absolutely, we adjusted our tactics by not participating in the raid because they were too hard.
Well, this goes for everything from cargoes to all the campaigns and everything else that's been introduced. I mean, obviously you have a valid point about the last raid, but every raid that we've had in 2 or 3 years that I can remember raids going back, the ships have been more powerful than anything we could have. The buildings have been had more armor than anything we could possibly create. The turrets have had more range. They've been stronger. I mean, we've been dealing with this same issue for a long time. It's not just this last raid when it came about.
All I will say to that is never before have I seen a video where a level 101 hacked fleet couldn't kill a raid target. Never. That's all
I've
I got
never
to
seen
say
a
to that.
101 fleet before in a video either. So
Well,
it was the only time we've ever seen one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what made the raids worse as well. Having no grease monkeys for the community, not having that crew campaign anymore, that's made it harder as well. If you notice with the crews now, even if you try and coin them, it's very rare to land on a grease monkey.
You probably won't.
Okay, so I got like the Kixeye using hacked fleets. I get that. The crew campaign is also a problem. And I kind of felt like how about with your base? I mean, it's I'm trying to think of the things that I used to really enjoy. Okay, and Battle Pirates, the things that I used to really enjoy. I used to really enjoy defending my base and having a good base defense strategy. But now I find myself completely incapable of putting one in place. Is because anything that I do my base guard, basically it's got to be refit at least once a month, and those refits tend to take a month. And then stuff like base turrets. When you have defense platforms going up, since OP6 came out, I've not been able to defend my base. I just got my last defense platform up to 5, and then we got OP7. So now I have to say again.
I've got 4 to do still.
Well, so base defense used to be a place where I enjoyed. I had pride, and I felt accomplished. You know what I mean? I felt like a strong, adequate player. And they took that away from me. I feel like is because, I mean, if you think about how much money you would have to spend to defend your base on your base just for that one particular task, it's pretty insane. You know what I mean? You can build a strategy, but implementing it can take 6 months or longer.
Yeah, it's like they introduced them new waypoints for fleet versus fleet. I want them in the bases, so you can set them in a base. That'll bring it back up to date as well. I quite agree with you. I think our bases are lagging again. The antipodes now with all that reactive on ships, they don't seem to be working hardly anymore. So, is there any point having fleets in your base again? No.
Yeah. I actually just got hit this morning, and I got hit by an XL pinch, man. I could not believe how long my turret stayed pinched. I mean, they were pretty much able to drive a quarter way around my base.
20 seconds, isn't it?
I think it's like 28 seconds.
28 seconds, yeah.
It was a long freaking time, man. I was watching the video or the playback, and I was like, holy moly. And that's another thing, too. It's like I got hit. It's like, I was planning on doing Forsaken Missions today, continuing my Forsaken Missions, but I had to wait for my doctor repair. Yeah, I could have coined it. But, I kind of like, Alana, she mentioned, she's only got a certain amount of coin, and I'm the same way, that you're comfortable spending per month to play this game. Okay, and anything that they take from me in one area just means it's going to be missing from another area. It doesn't mean they're going to get more from me. So basically, what they're doing is they're shaping my gameplay, but they're doing it to a point to where they're taking away from the things that I enjoy and adding to the things that I don't. They're making me spend money to do things that I don't enjoy doing. You get what I'm saying?
Yep. Dope.
So that was one thing. I actually used to enjoy hitting bases as well too. It was a lot of fun, and I think that it still is, and I think they kind of still expect us to go out and do that, but I don't feel that.
No.
I mean, you got to to recover from the chores or recover from base hits, because I hate to say, when you go and hit a base, it might cost you a couple fleets, right, these days, and potentially. I mean, I know there's like a lot of crappy bases out there, and you could probably do 10 bases with one fleet too if you pick the right ones. But my thing is, you got to recover from that, and then there's probably going to be a hit back, right? Somebody's going to come in and smash your base, smash your guard, smash your dock, and then you're going to have to recover from that. And then it's like, are your chores going to be in jeopardy? That kind of thing. So I don't know. I think, to me, it seems pretty obvious, what Kixeye should be doing. And I don't understand why they're not doing it and why they don't even seem to see it. But they're completely blind. And I often accuse them of being too smart for their own good.
You've also brought up another point there. Them rockets. Look at that Daisy Cutter, extra large. I get people now coming into bases and using 6 or 7 of them just to try and kill off the fleet so they can get in and have an easy base. That's ridiculous. Or coming in with a bunker buster to kill your dock to make you pay for it on repairs. Or because OP7's come out, they use a bunker buster on your OP so that it sets you back. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
See, all essential things like dock that should be repaired like instantly. Gets hit, instantly repaired. Okay, let all the turrets and all buildings that help you defend your base, that have a time limit where that gets repaired. But anything that you need to retaliate, straight away, click,
Yeah.
dock
Yeah.
fixed. So you can go out and you can go and hit that other person's base that just hit you.
Yeah,
But
or
you
not
can't
even
do that.
not even retaliate necessarily, but just continue to play the game. If they want to come smash your
Exactly.
base, fine. But you're in the middle of doing your FM, and now you're like Price was talking about.
Fleet the fleet that I use for Forsaken missions, it didn't repair for several hours. It was like a 7-hour repair, and I got hit like 2 hours after I went to bed. And so basically, when I got up, I still had 5 hours to go after I spent 2.5 hours repairing my dock. You know what I mean? So, I'm just saying I still had like 7 hours to go. It was
That's
crazy.
ridiculous, you know.
Yeah, it is.
Anything that you use to like a building you upgrade, that should straight away be repaired so your upgrade can continue. Because if a person that gets hit regularly, you're never going to get anything done. It needs 10 days for a turret to upgrade. Then it needs another 10 days to put the weapon on. Then another 5 days for the special. You get hit in between every couple of days. How are you meant to further yourself within the game if that does?
You
know,
can't.
it just takes forever.
Can I also mention about now we've got Dock 12. We can now build up to 38k, can't we? In tons, sort of thing. Well, if your base gets hit now and your fleet in your base is actually up to 38 tons now, 38,000 tons, should I say, not 38 tons, 38,000 tons, and they kill all your fleet but only manage to do between 25% and 50%, and you only get a 12-hour bubble, you can't repair that fleet in that 12-hour bubble anymore. That needs adjusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be a lot of empty bases for people that do still hit bases.
Mm-hmm.
I think there should be a base guard slot. I think there should be just a special slot for base guards, and it should stay in your base and it should repair automatically. I guess we're kind of at the top of the hour again, so I do appreciate everybody's feedback. Thanks very much for that, and I guess I'm going to go ahead and change this video to private, just so I can edit, and then I'll make it public later on. So anyway, I just want to put it out there. You guys, like I said, everybody on the panel, thanks for coming on. Everybody in the chat, thanks for coming.
No,
and
Price.
yep, y'all have a good evening.
Yep.
Everybody say
Bye
bye.
bye.
See you later. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
And we're still live.